DSB-SC amplitude modulation is the topic of today's lecture. DSB-SC, as we are discussing about, let me start pointer. Yes, as we are discussing about amplitude modulation for last few lectures, amplitude modulation is one of the modulation methods which is used in communication system that helps to transmit message signal to long distance destination. And there are different types of amplitude modulation: DSB-SC, DSB full carrier, SSB-SC, SSB full carrier. So in this lecture, we will be talking about DSB-SC, that is double sideband suppressed carrier. So let's begin with again the basic, that is amplitude modulation. We know that amplitude modulation is a process in which the carrier amplitude changes according to amplitude of modulating signal, or more appropriately, the amplitude of carrier signal changes according to instantaneous value of message signal. Look at the message signal here, and if instantaneous value of this signal changes, what will happen? That this particular, the carrier amplitude will change. Carrier amplitude changes. Frequency does not change. Frequency remains same. What changes? Carrier frequency does not change. Carrier amplitude changes. And how does it change? Just it follows the envelope of message signal. Now we are interested to get DSB-SC. As we know that double sideband full carrier is a complete AM signal. When we say there is AM signal, that is amplitude modulated signal, which by default means double sideband with carrier, full carrier. In that transmission, both the sidebands will be transmitted, as well as both the sidebands will be transmitted, as well as carrier will also be sent. Though we have already studied that carrier does not contain any message information. Message only lies in two sidebands, but in the full carrier, carrier is also sent along with two sidebands. There is advantage of sending it. We have discussed when we send carrier signal with the two sidebands at the receiver, we are not required to generate the exact carrier frequency which was transmitted by the transmitter, because that poses major challenge when we do not generate, when you are not able to generate the correct carrier frequency, the exact carrier signal which was transmitted at the receiving end, then there would be the problem of synchronization. And therefore in one way, full carrier transmission, though it requires extra expenditure because carrier power will be utilized, because carrier is also transmitted, but the synchronization problem is not there. Whereas in suppressed carrier, what happens? We send only two sidebands and the carrier is suppressed. Of course, when we are doing so, there will be saving in carrier power. So how do we generate it? See here, there is a message signal, there is carrier signal. How do we get a modulated signal? There is something missing. This is modulated signal actually, modulated signal, right? So this modulated signal is generated by using a mixer, or sometimes we call it as frequency translator. How do we get it? We multiply message signal and carrier frequency and we get the modulated signal. And that modulated signal, this modulated signal includes two sidebands. One is 8, one is that beyond carrier frequency, and second sideband is below carrier frequency. So carrier does not carry any information. Therefore, it may be suppressed during the modulation process to attain high power efficiency. I have already explained you When you do not send carrier, that power will be saved. So if power saving is there, so power efficiency. What is power efficiency? How much power is transmitted with respect to total power? Because there is total transmitted power, radiated power. That power can be radiated by the antenna. But if out of that power we can save some power, and that to carrier power, which requires larger amount of power, then we can save large value of power, and therefore the power efficiency will become higher. So wherever carrier is suppressed, we attain higher power efficiency. Higher power efficiency using DSBSC is achieved at the expense of complex and expensive receiver, so that synchronization can be maintained. This is, see, in communication system or in anywhere, there is a rule. When you want to achieve something, bigger, greater, or better, you have to sacrifice something. You have to spend something. So when we want to save power, because when carrier is not sent, power saving will be there. But this power saving will be obtained at the expense of some complexity which will be introduced, and in order to address that complexity, why the complexity is arising? The problem of complexity is arising due to the synchronization circuit or synchronization arrangement which will be required to make at the receiver. Why? Because carrier is not being sent, so we need to generate exact carrier signal at the receiver, then only we can recover the message signal. So that is a problem, and for that we need to have an extra arrangement, and that is the extra expenditure which we need to which we need to have in order to get higher power efficiency in double sideband suppressed carrier. So if you look at these diagrams, you see here that there is a modulating signal. Now I have not shown the carrier frequency separately, but modulating and then modulated. Where inside there is a signal, you can see that actually is a carrier signal. Yeah, that's a carrier signal. Okay, that's a carrier signal, but this carrier signal is the transmitted carrier signal. The transmitted signal, where what happens, you see here the amplitude is changing, and that change in amplitude is following what? The envelope or the instantaneous value of message signal. So according to instantaneous value of message signal, the carrier amplitude is changing. Now this is the complete AM signal. Complete AM means it has carrier, it has two sidebands. Both the sidebands are there, and it has carrier. Now we do not want to send carrier. Look at this diagram. We generally, when we draw a frequency spectrum of the AM signal, any ordinary or full AM signal, how many components we get? We obtain 3 components, and those 3 components are carrier, which is always located at the center, and there are 2 sidebands. One, see here, beyond FC there is sideband, upper sideband. See, this will start from FC, but this is just to to explain in a simple way that beyond carrier frequency there is upper sideband. Otherwise, it will begin from FC only. And there is lower sideband that will start from FC minus FM to FC. This FC plus FM is here, and FC will be here, right? And this is a band actually. Carrier frequency is not a band, it's a single component. So it will be a single component. And from here to FC plus FM, there is upper sideband and there is lower sideband. Now what we can do in the DSBSC, carrier will be suppressed. So there are 2 components, FC plus FM and FC minus FM. So these 2 components will be transmitted, and therefore dotted lines are displaying for demonstrating the carrier signal, because that is not being transmitted, that is being suppressed, and we are only sending lower sideband and upper sideband. So if you see the second part of the first picture, you will note, you will find that this is the display of, this is the waveform of the complete AM signal. And when we want to find the waveform of the amplitude modulated signal when there is no carrier, then it is looking like this. You see here, this is the modulating signal. You see here, there are only two parts. Please understand, upper sideband and lower sideband, and there is a carrier. Why there is a wave like this? There is a wave like this because, and the frequency is of carrier frequency, because carrier is still there in the amplitude modulated signal. But when we suppress carrier, you look at here, there is, you look at the message signal envelope. So positive side of message signal envelope, you follow my this pointer, this is actually your upper sideband. And when negative side of the envelope, because negative side of envelope is like this, then this is your lower sideband. Please remember, please understand, both the sidebands in AM are mirror images to each other. They are mirrors to each other, mirror images to each other. Upper sideband, the mirror of upper sideband, mirror image of upper sideband will be lower sideband, and vice versa. It means when you get mirror image of lower sideband, we will get upper sideband, and therefore you look at here, there are two signals which are mirror images to each other, and there is no carrier at all. But you can say that there is a carrier inside. In fact, why there is a frequency here? There will be certain frequency, because see, upper sideband and lower sideband have resulted as an outcome of mixing carrier signal. So it will have certain frequency. All right, it will have certain frequency. And the frequency of what? Both the components, please remember, both the components are there and they are following the envelope and having certain frequency, that is Fc plus Fm and Fc minus Fm. All right, so these two components are representing, displaying upper sideband and lower sideband, and there is no carrier at all. Remember, there is no carrier here in the waveform. So therefore, the third waveform is the suppressed carrier, means DSBSC, double sideband suppressed carrier, where both the sidebands are there, there is no carrier. Let us see some mathematical analysis. We have already discussed frequency spectrum of amplitude modulated signal, AM signal. How do we get it? We get the complete AM spectrum, and on frequency plot, frequency domain, we plot the amplitude of different components. So how do we draw? How do we obtain frequency spectrum? Frequency spectrum is actually the amplitude spectrum. Here we are talking about amplitude of the components, the various spectral components are plotted versus frequency. They are called as frequency. They constitute frequency spectrum. So let us assume that the carrier signal is AC cosine omega CT. Let us assume that the carrier signal is AC cosine omega CT, where what is omega C? 2 pi Fc, where omega C is 2 pi Fc. Message signal is SMT AM cosine omega MT, where what is omega M? 2 pi FMT. FCT is the carrier frequency. FMT is the message signal frequency. One is carrier frequency and one is message signal frequency. How do we get AM signal? How do we get AM signal? Especially when we have only two sidebands, how do we get? We have used a multiplier circuit, look at here. And how do we get? If you multiply these two signals, the signal becomes AC cosine omega CT into AM cosine omega MT. Then it becomes AC AM cosine omega CT cosine omega MT. By applying a trigonometric formula, cosine A cosine B is equal to 1 by 2, 1 over 2 cosine of A plus B plus cosine of A minus B. So if we use this formula, we will get the expression for STS AMAC divided by 2 cosine of omega C plus omega M into T plus AMAC divided by 2 into cosine of omega C minus omega into T. What are these? These are two sidebands. These are two sidebands located at omega c plus omega m and omega c minus omega m respectively. We can also say fc plus fm and fc minus fm when we represent in terms of ordinary frequency. When we write in terms of angular frequency, we can write omega c plus omega m and omega c minus omega m are the two positions, two components which are located at. So this is how you see here. This is the diagram that cosine omega ct, that is AC cosine omega ct, is your carrier. AM cosine omega mt is the message signal, and we get this. And the frequency spectrum will be like this. You see here, the frequency spectrum is like you see here fc plus fc2, fc plus fm. There is a component, right? And this component has certain amplitude. This may be AM AC divided by 2, right? Both have same amplitude. So one sideband is extending from fc to fc plus fm, and second sideband is extending from fc minus fm to fc. So there are two sidebands which are generated. So what is frequency spectrum of DSBSC? We can simply, write two vertical lines also here. At fc plus fm, we can draw a vertical line, and here also we can draw a vertical line, just to denote the two amplitude spectral components. But here this is a complete band, and this band is giving the frequency spectral response like this. So the transmitted power is in both the sidebands. When we talk about DSBSC, the transmitted power is in both the sidebands. We know that carrier does not contain any message, but carrier is needed in order to avoid difficulties of synchronization, the complexity, extra complexity that arises at the receiver. So in order to avoid that, carrier is sent. But when we are not sending carrier, there is no problem, because the message is there in both the sidebands. And we know that in one sideband, if you look at here, what is the bandwidth? FM. How do you calculate bandwidth? Upper frequency minus lower frequency, that is fc plus fm minus fc, it gives fm. And the same bandwidth is here in lower sideband. So we know that same bandwidth, that is message signal bandwidth, is there in both the sideband, which clearly indicates that message is present in upper sideband as well as lower sideband. Message no longer remains in the carrier. So the bandwidth of AM signal, what is the AM signal now? Bandwidth of AM signal means bandwidth of DSBSC signal is twice of bandwidth of modulating signal. Can you understand? See here, same bandwidth, same bandwidth. But what is the original bandwidth of message signal? FM. If it is FM here in this case, the twice FM is the bandwidth of DSBSC. So the bandwidth of message signal may be any value. This may extend from some lower frequency to upper frequency, where lower frequency may become 0 Hertz. But even if it is not 0 Hertz, any bandwidth which is occupied by message signal, twice of that bandwidth, the AM signal, that is DSBSC, will occupy. So USB shows positive component of SMT, and LSB shows negative component of SMT. Here also we have explained that a positive component is the upper sideband, and negative component is indicating lower sideband. In the similar manner, you look at here, this is the expression of the DSBSC signal, that is AM signal, where the positive envelope, this side positive envelope is upper sideband, whereas negative envelope this side, look at here the negative envelope, this negative envelope is your lower sideband. Lower sideband and upper sideband both are present in this what we say is signal. So this, how do we generate now? How do we generate? It can be generated by, we can just use a balance modulator. What does balance modulator do? Balance modulator generates double sideband, and that double sideband without carrier. Or what we can do, we can use ordinary modulator, AM modulator. What does AM modulator generate? AM modulator generates two sidebands in the carrier. What we can do? carrier can be suppressed by using a suitable filter. What will be the bandwidth of filter? A bandwidth, a filter whose bandwidth is the bandwidth of message signal. Through that filter, the AM signal can be passed, which will allow lower sideband and upper sideband and will reject the carrier frequency. But there is one more scheme, another method to generate the DSBSC is balanced modulator. Why it is called as balanced modulator? Because we are using two similar modulators, so there is a balance. Two similar modulators, they are used with sign reversal. What is the meaning of sign reversal? We know that when we use AM modulator, any amplitude modulator, right? What does it require? It requires two signals. One carrier signal, another message signal. Look at here. Carrier signal is given to AM modulator 1. Same carrier signal is being given to AM modulator 2. Now, if you look at the message signal SMT, we are directly sending SMT to AM modulator 1. But in the second AM modulator, we are reversing the sign and the signal becomes minus SMT, and then we are sending to AM modulator 2. So what will be the output of AM modulator 1? AC into 1 plus M cosine omega MT cosine omega CT. We know this is the standard expression of what? AM modulator. When this is message signal and this is a carrier signal. And when we use message signal after sign reversing, we will get the signal as 1 minus M cosine omega MT whole multiplied by cosine omega CT. And when we send them both to this mixer, and when we get ST equal to S1T minus S2T, what do we get? We will get, because these carrier terms will be cancelled, and M cos omega MT cos omega CT into AC, and here minus M AC cos omega MT cos omega CT will be added together because we are subtracting. So what we are getting? Twice of MAC cosine omega MT into cosine omega CT. Now can you see here what we are getting here? We are getting only two side bands, because when we calculate cosine omega MT into cosine omega CT, we multiply them. This multiplication or product generates two terms. One is at omega C plus omega M. Second is at omega C minus omega M. And therefore, there is no carrier now in this. So in this important diagram, block diagram, we are using two amplitude modulators which are similar amplitude modulators, but we are using a sign reversal to the message signal, and therefore the entire scheme, the whole scheme is called as balanced modulator, which combines two amplitude modulators in a balanced manner. Right? Now, see, when we transmit a signal, what is the signal? DSBSC. How do we recover the signal at the receiver? How do we recover? We can recover by using different demodulation method, different detection method. So one of such detection method is synchronous detection method. One of such method is synchronous detection method. And the synchronous detection method is also called as coherent type of detection or coherent type of demodulation. So in the detection or demodulation, or we can say demodulator, what will be the input? The input will be DSBSC. DSBSC. Now, how do we recover in synchronous demodulation? We use the same carrier frequency which was used in the transmission. What was the carrier frequency? Cosine omega CT into something. We are bothering about the frequency. Frequency is more important. So cosine omega CT we are generating at receiver. Why we are required to generate it? Because the carrier has not come with signal, that is AM signal, because carrier was suppressed at the transmitter. So we do not have carrier, and therefore we need to generate carrier signal. So this local oscillator is generating a carrier signal which is mixed with DSBSC, and this product gives what? This carrier signal is multiplied by this term, and then we pass to LPF, and we will get, this is the explanation we'll explain, and then when we pass through low pass filter, then we'll get the output signal. So this VT, how do we get VT here? Can you see here? This DSBSC multiplied by local oscillator. What was DSBSC? If you see the previous diagram, it is DSBSC is 2MAC cosine omega MT multiplied by cosine omega CT. So when you multiply this by cosine omega CT, look at here, 2AM AC divided by AC, we can write, right? Into cosine omega MT cos square omega CT. There is only AC. Yeah. So AM, oh, in place of M, we are writing AM by AC. So it can be written as 2AM cosine omega MT and AC, right? AC cosine omega MT, and this cos square omega CT can be written as 1 plus cosine 2 omega CT, which can be further expanded as AM cosine omega MT, look at here, plus AM cosine omega MT into cosine omega CT. And when we pass this signal, even if we calculate this product, we will get two components, omega M plus 2 omega CT and omega M minus 2 omega CT. So there is a double frequency component, that is omega M plus 2 omega C, omega M minus 2 omega C. So we can pass this signal through a low pass filter that allows, only this signal which is, band limited to FM, band limited to omega M. So this will be allowed, and this component which is actually message multiplied by cosine 2 omega CT will be rejected. This is treated as unwanted signal, because what is our desired signal? SMT, which is AM cos omega MT. So when we pass through low pass filter, this double frequency component gets rejected. So this will be removed or suppressed, and then we will get our signal. So we can see that this synchronous demodulation is helping to recover the message signal from DSBSC. Why this is called as synchronous demodulation? Because, and also called as coherent demodulation, because sometimes we directly call it as multiplier also. Why? Because the DSBSC is directly multiplied by the carrier signal. Coherent, same frequency; synchronous, same carrier frequency is generated, right? So this is how we get, by using the what we say is that original signal by DSBSC. Now there is a problem. What is the problem? Synchronization problem is there in the DSBSC when we generate. What is the synchronization? If frequency and phase change, that there is no synchronism between transmitter and receiver in terms of phase and frequency, then it creates a problem of synchronization. So let us understand this, right? Let us understand this. If we receive a signal SMT cos omega CT, SMT cosine omega CT plus theta, please understand, AC cosine omega CT into SMT is your transmitted signal, right? But at the receiver we receive, what do we receive? AC cos omega CT plus theta into SMT. Same signal, but there is a delay of theta. So there is a phase delay. There is a phase difference, that is plus theta. So let us try to recover it. How do we recover? Multiplying by cos omega CT. When we solve it, we will get SMT cosine theta t plus this one. And when we reject this double frequency component, what do we get? AC by 2 SMT cosine theta. AC by 2 is not a problem. We can send to a amplitude divider where we can exactly get SMT. But what is the problem? Cosine theta is also coming. So when we send it, what is desirable signal? AC by 2 into SMT. Because we do not worry about AC by 2, we can send it to a amplitude divider and we can make it SMT. But do we get that? Are we getting that? No, cosine theta is coming. That cosine theta is due to lack of synchronization in terms of phase. So that causes attenuation in low pass filter, and that amount of attenuation is due to the cosine theta. What will be the worst case? Can you imagine? The worst case will be when theta becomes pi by 2. For example, the phase difference is 90 degree, pi by 2 radian. What will happen? cosine of 90 degree is 0. So if it is 0, what will happen? We will not get any output. So in worst case, when theta is pi by 2, no output at all will be obtained. So phase synchronization is a problem, and therefore that phase synchronization problem also needs to be dealt with. And therefore we said that whenever there is a there is absence of carrier, lot of complexity and expenditure is involved in case of at the receiver. Similarly, frequency synchronization, suppose we get a signal that is a cosine signal. In place of cos omega ct, in the product term, we get cosine omega c plus del omega t. And say this problem is occurring at receiver, because DSBSC is the same signal, AC SMT cosine omega ct. But when we are trying to generate the exact carrier frequency at the receiver, we are not able to get it. We are rather generating cosine of omega c plus del omega t. So there is change. So when we solve it, right, when we multiply it, we will get two terms, cosine del omega t, cosine 2 omega c plus del omega t. When we pass through low pass filter, this double frequency component will be rejected, and what we'll get again, AC by 2 SMT cosine of del omega t. Look at here, we are getting almost same term, but you look at here, it was multiplied by cosine theta, right? But here now it is multiplied by cosine del omega t. Why there is del omega t? Because del omega is the change in frequency at the receiver, because we are generating carrier frequency at the receiver, because carrier is not present in the transmitted signal, which is actually received by the receiver. So the output will also suffer with the frequency drift. Frequency drift will be there, and that will also cause frequency deviation and the attenuation and the loss of signal. The original signal will be deviated from its frequency, which is not good. We want the correct signal frequency, and when we are not getting it, it has certain frequency deviation that will cause unwanted effect in the signal. So this is about phase synchronization and frequency synchronization. Phase synchronization was introduced by the transmission line or the channel, whereas frequency synchronization problem is due to the incorrect carrier frequency which is being generated at the receiver. All right. So extra synchronization circuit is therefore required to detect theta and del omega t. We need to have extra circuitry so that we can detect theta and del omega t, and we can apply the preventive or the necessary measures. Synchronizer is introduced to deal with synchronization problem. So an additional circuit called a synchronizer is required at the receiving end, so that the problem due to the difference or the phase delay or the frequency drift can be mitigated. The baseband signal, for example, the baseband signal is AM cosine omega mt. What is DSB-SC signal? How do we get it? SMT, which is AM cos omega mt multiplied by AC cosine omega ct. Say this is DSB-SC. Now, how does synchronizer work? How does synchronizer work? We send it to a square device, a square law device. Then we send to PLL. Then we send to phase log loop, and then we send to BPF, band pass filter, and we send it to a frequency divider. See here, when we pass through this square device, it becomes AC square, AM square, cos square omega t into cos square omega ct. Further solving it, cosine square omega mt can be written as 1 plus cosine 2 omega mt. Cosine square omega ct can be written as 1 plus cosine 2 omega ct. Further simplifying it, when we multiply, it becomes 1 plus cosine 2 omega mt plus cosine 2 omega ct plus cosine of 2 omega mt into cosine of 2 omega ct. We can again simplify this. It will give you 1 by 2 cosine of 2 times omega c minus omega mt plus 1 by 2 cosine of 2 times of omega c plus omega mt. So how many components we are having? 1 plus cosine 2 omega mt plus cosine 2 omega ct plus 1 upon 2 cosine 2 omega c minus plus 1 upon 2 cosine 2 omega c plus omega mt. So when we pass through band pass filter, that rejects all carrier frequency, which is double carrier frequency. All these terms will be rejected. But what do we get? We'll get AC square by into AM square divided by this 4 multiplied by cos of 2 omega mt. So even if it is cos of 2 omega mt, right, we can send it to the divider, and then we'll get the correct frequency. We'll get correct frequency, right? So there is, let me just, there is a small change. I'm sorry. Cos 2 omega mt will not be generated because we are recovering carrier signal. We are trying, even there is a problem, we are trying to generate the exact carrier frequency, right? Even after multiplying, we are trying to get it. So this BPF will give you cos of 2 omega CT, and after dividing it, cos of, actually this will, I'm really sorry, this will not be cos of 2 omega CT, it will be cos of 2 omega mt. All cos 2 omega CT, these terms will be rejected, and after dividing it, will not get omega C here, it will be omega mt, right? Because we are recovering, because we are applying C here, the square law device, and we are trying to recover. So we will get actually the cosine of omega mt. So this is the mechanism by which we can address the problem of, that the frequency and phase synchronization problem. So let us sum up this lecture, what we have discussed, right? Let us just sum up, just a second, sorry. So let's sum up what we have discussed here. We have discussed in this lecture about DSBSC. DSBSC is an important type of amplitude modulation where two sidebands are transmitted without any carrier. Two sidebands are transmitted without any carrier, and we are suppressing the carrier. And how do we generate it? By using a balanced modulator. We can generate double sideband and carrier can be suppressed. But there is some difficulty, and there are some advantages as well. When we do not send carrier signal, that power which is used by, which is required in order to send carrier, and that is a big power, big value, large value, that power saving takes place. Power saving is achieved when we suppress the carrier and when we send only two sidebands. And there is nothing wrong in sending two sidebands because the message is there only in two sidebands, not contained in the carrier signal. But when we are getting benefit of power saving, this is how the power efficiency is improved. But when we are getting improvement in power efficiency, that will be obtained at the expense of some complexity which is introduced at the receiver. That complexity is due to, since you are not sending carrier, since we are not sending carrier, the same or exact carrier needs to be generated. Otherwise, there would be problem in recovering the message. And when we try to generate the exact value, exact carrier signal, that is real challenge. And when there is any frequency deviation, when there is any frequency drift, when there is any frequency change in the carrier frequency, and when you use that carrier frequency to recover message signal, it will cause frequency drift in the original signal, and the recover signal will not be appropriate signal. So that is one problem. Second is, which may be due to that channel may cause some phase drift or phase deviation, and that phase deviation also causes attenuation in the communication. So there are difficulties, phase deviation or phase drift, as well as frequency drift by, if we are not able to generate exact the carrier signal at the receiver. So both of these problems can be, addressed, can be handled by the synchronizer circuit. And the rough typical block diagram of synchronizer circuit is this is the block diagram which can help in order to recover the correct message signal, and that to addressing the problem of frequency and phase drift. So That's all for this lecture.